News has been breaking that Rey Fenix is no longer with AEW. Do you think Tony Khan did the right thing letting Rey Fenix and now Ricky Saints out of their contract? And how soon do you expect to see Rey Fenix in the WWE?
No, not a mistake at all. I mean, if they don't want to be there, like, let them go. Let them go. Holding somebody, that doesn't want to be there isn't helping anything, right? Now, I understand if like a guy gets injured and he still has time on his contract and stuff like that, then, that's your choice to keep them under contract, which is what he did with Fenix, and that's fine, right? But now that he's gone, like, brush it off, keep moving, right? You have other people on the roster. Focus on them. Focus on them. And the thing with Ricky, I don't like the way that it went down. Like, I know whatever happened, I don't know if it was a coke thing. I don't know if he had some backstage issues. Like, I don't know, like, what happened. We don't know. But at the end of the day, right, you can't keep everybody. Things happen. It's wrestling. People move on. Nobody is going to change the trajectory of AEW. Like, no matter who it is. They are in their niche groove right now. And they are what they are. And that's not necessarily a bad thing or a good thing. Like, you have your AEW diehards, and they like what they like. So, I don't know. I don't know. Like, they do things a certain way, and the fans that are into it like it that way. They're not in, like, growth area right now. They're kind of just, like, in their stride,
I'd agree with that. They're definitely, I don't feel like they're in a growth period right now. To me, and I know I've said this a lot, I feel like they still haven't recovered since CM Punk left. That was the one person who elevated the whole company, was CM Punk. Like, you could notice a distinguishable difference when he showed up and then when he left, how much things have changed. Do I think Tony did the right thing letting them go? Ethically? Yeah, ethically he did the right thing. Overall, if it's what's best he thinks for AEW, then he did the right thing. When I did a similar question to this a little while ago with Ralph, I said that, Tony was within his rights to hold people on contracts they signed, and a lot of people got upset because they're like, after we had recorded that, a lot of people were like, well, Tony should really, like, let them go. It's the right thing to do, and, he's not letting them sell their merch. Look, man, I don't know anything about that. For me, Tony needs to do whatever's best for AEW at this point, which would be getting help on, someone to help him in with the booking, I think would be something he could do to help AEW. But if he thinks that not having Ricky there and not having Rey there is going to help the company, which, overall, I would say, I don't know if I fully agree with that, but once they both made up their mind that they wanted to leave, then I agree it's probably what's best for AEW. If they don't want to be there, it's not going to be conducive to the growth of the company. I think they've extremely fumbled on Ricky in particular. I think Ricky could have done a lot more stuff in AEW. I feel like, he didn't mention anything specific, but that whole thing with him and Cope didn't help his cause, which I felt he really held back on Cope and could have really laid into him a lot more when they were going back and forth on the mic. It seems like people like Ricky, who are more talkers, aren't valued as highly in AEW as I feel like they should be. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that Ricky Starks is Bryan Danielson or Bret Hart or one of the greatest technical wrestlers of all time, but he was, to me, a great wrestler, great on the mic, has a certain it factor that I think can hopefully be utilized in NXT. And I think Rey Fenix and the Lucha Bros, never really got as much love on the solo runs in AEW. The only time either of them got a solo title, I believe, was the International Championship, and that was because Moxley got hurt during the match, so they let Rey Fenix win. That wasn't planned, as far as everyone had been told. That wasn't planned. That was just like hey, he's injured, you take it. So I'm excited to see Rey, because I'm assuming Rey is going to be on the main roster. I'm excited to see how soon it is, and based off how quickly Ricky showed up, I think it's going to be soon. And then whether or not the Lucha Bros are going to be a thing right away, because I think there's a great story there of Rey pretty much showing up, talking to Penta, trying to get the Lucha Bros back together, and Penta being like, I still have some stuff I need to do on my own. And Rey could even be like, hey, you forgot about me, you left me. We're supposed to be brothers. How could you forget about me? There's a lot of good potential storylines there, which I'm excited to see. And the fact that Penta isn't in LWO or Legado del Fantasma already, to me, these are really good signs, So I'm really excited to see Rey and Penta in the ring, because to me, Penta's the better overall package, but in ring wise, Rey is a lot better, in my opinion. Rey does some really cool stuff, and I'm excited to see what he can do in the WWE, and I'm excited to see where he starts out, who they put him against, if he's against Chad Gable or whoever. I think Rey Fenix is going to put together some banger matches, and I'm really excited to see the Lucha Bros moving forward in WWE. So far, they've been killing it with Penta. So hopefully they keep that momentum, and hopefully the two of them combined can do great things in WWE, because I want nothing but the best. As much as I like both companies, I want nothing for the best for them. I love the fact there's free agency now, so wrestlers can get paid better benefits, and do what's best for them at the end of the day, versus how it was as a monopoly before, which we're seeing in action. So I'm really happy for them. And, I hope whatever, I may not be a huge fan of the direction AEW is currently going in. There's a lot of stuff I do like, but at the end of the day, it's an alternative. A lot of people are like, oh, they're head to head with WWE. I don't think that's the case. They're doing their own thing. They're developing, like you said, their own niche, instead of like, people shouldn't view it as a head to head thing. People should view it as an alternative, in my opinion.
I agree with that.
Yeah. Like, not everything, like if you compare every animated movie to Disney, sometimes you might be disappointed. WWE is the Disney of wrestling. So they have a huge head start, and they have a catalog of intellectual property and characters that AEW just can't compete with, man. People grew up wanting to be in WWE. They didn't grow up wanting to be in AEW, because AEW is 6 years old. So like, maybe in 15 to 20 years, when this younger generation, like my nephew, grow up, they would have, dreamed of being in AEW. It's different, but the fact they're still here, they're doing their thing. I'm excited to see where they go.